It's not too warm, there's barely a breath of wind in the air. Baz, perfect conditions for rugby league.
Well, this is a Yorkshire derby. Yes, it's dry, it's going to be a fast track, but Castleford, notorious that the crowd is right on you, it's tight. The players know and feel the breath of the fans on the terraces, and you can hear everything that's said, every opinion, every criticism. Some players love it. I used to love coming to Cas. That hostile greeting that you always got whenever you came as a Rhinos player. But yeah, I think we're in for a fabulous game. A bit of Yorkshire pride on show on Derby Day.
It should be a cracking game. More than 7,500 tickets were sold in midweek, according to Castleford's social media feed, as Leeds get us off and underway. I think it'll be well in excess of that by the time we get everybody counted in. The best part of 2,000 have made the short trip down the road, down the M62 from Headingley to come here from Leeds. And it's Castleford who are having to defend more or less on their own line, just 12 metres out or so for this first little touch for Castleford as they swing the ball down the hands with Dejan Assi, and straight in for a tackle for James McDonnell. It's, Andy Ackers is in there as well. Ackers playing back in at hooker this afternoon for the Leeds Rhinos. Atkin back in for Castleford, playing in the halves after a bit of a switch round for them. 30 metres over from the Castleford line as Kane Robb gets it down the left side. A little bit of a shimmy from Dejan Assi. He can't quite get the kick away. Play on, says the referee. It's Callum Watkins who was to pick the ball up initially for the visitors, and Presley Cassell then brings it forward for Leeds. Ackers waiting just behind him.
That's terrific work from Palacio. He's been another strong performer for the Rhinos, working hard, taking time away from Assi, and Leeds Rhinos in good ball.
Swinging it down the right-hand side. Lockie Miller coming into the back line as Newman swings it back inside again for Ryan Hall, who takes the tackle just over 10 metres short of the home side line. Down the left flank it comes for Leeds Rhinos. And another barnstorming run again from Presley Cassell, who's impressing in the time that he's getting in the Leeds Rhinos lineup. Palacia takes two to bring him down, and big tackles going in on Palacia for Leeds. Down the left flank again, corner with a flick through. The ball is just about loose, but then they managed to gobble it up here. Jensen Windley, the fullback for Castleford, getting hold of the loose ball.
Hasn't he done well? Stepped in at late notice last week. Fletcher Rooney picked up an injury. He's a half-back by trade, Jensen, but gets down, secures possession, and Cass trying to make the way upfield.
He didn't even know he was going to be in the side until the very last minute, Jensen Windley, and then has to stick his hand up, and he certainly did. Acquitted himself pretty well against LKR last week, certainly for the first part of the first half in any rate. A player that is highly rated here as it's hoofed forward. Dejan Assi, first real tester. And that's picked up nicely by Chris Hankinson.
Hankinson made his debut for the Rhinos last week. Bit of a mixed bag for him, but all that experience, can play anywhere in this back division, so it adds a real quality and depth, Hankinson. But he won a couple of early touches and some productive ones, as will this fella here. We were talking about Ryan Hall, of course, has scored more tries in Super League than anybody else, but hasn't scored for 9 games, Fraser. I'm telling you, he's scoring today.
Have you got money on it or something?
Well, you're not allowed to do that.
Leeds with possession here. Hankinson down the left flank, cutting back inside and getting close. Just 10 metres short. This will be the last one, though, for Leeds, as Lockie Miller swings it back inside. Connor looks to kick, but then goes for the pass down the right flank, and Croft this time goes for the corner, and it's gobbled up again by Jensen Windley.
Again, his positioning is really good. I was watching him in the warm-up. Scott Morrell, the former Halifax and Hull KR standoff, spiralling some bombs up to him, and he was handling them with confidence, Jensen Windley.
We're mentioning that drought that Ryan Hall is in at the moment. 9 games, it's his longest in his Super League career. In fact, his last try was against Castleford back in May. So who knows, history might repeat itself here. But it is very, very unusual to see Ryan Hall going so long without bagging himself a meat pie. It's RC. Gets this one out to Hankinson again, who cuts back inside and manages to fend off Atkin. And here comes Lockie Miller cutting through the Castleford defence. Lockie Miller pushing away down to the left-hand side. He's going all the way to the corner almost, but he's still in possession and still going. They still haven't brought him down. Just short of the 10-metre line. What a return that was from Lockie Miller. Leeds still in possession though. Connor will go for this one for the corner. Up goes the hands. Oh, does he put that down? Well, it was a juggling act from Harry Newman. A real juggling act.
Try.
But no surprise that the referee will want to have another look at this one and send it upstairs to Marcus Griffiths for the first time this afternoon.
It's tackle one. We have an on-field decision of try. We'll start on the foot because it comes from a kick. So they are all on side to the right-hand side of the kicker. So we'll now go into the catch. So he attempts to catch the ball. He now needs to catch, hold or regrip before it hits the floor or an object. He catches the ball and the ball is grounded in the field of play. I have a decision.
Of course it's a try. Of course it's a try.
It was a terrific bit of juggling from Harry Newman.
What about Lockie Miller's
But I was
break?
about to say it was all built on that superb run from Lockie Miller, who found himself a bit of space and he was away like a flash.
Is there a better player in Super League than Lockie Miller at pushing through? The amount of distance he covers here, and it's a lovely confident pass from Chris Hankinson, finds the fullback, who's at full tilt when he gets the ball. And it's so difficult to put him down. It's like a rubber ball bouncing around Lockie Miller. This is on the first tackle, this kick from Jake Connor. Talked about the varied kicking game that he possesses. Talk about his ability to build pressure at the right time. But on that occasion, he saw the space, he executed the pass perfectly, and the try was scored.
Well, in answer to your question, is there anyone better in that position? The answer is probably no, because as Jake Connor has managed to convert this one from a pretty tight angle. Lockie Miller has made the most tackle busts in Super League going into this round, 132.
He just refuses to be put down on the floor. I tell you, it was a great finish as well. Harry Newman juggles the ball. Yeah, he snatches at the ball initially, but good skill to regather it, put it down. Great start for the visitors.
And they have possession again. As Leeds bring it forward towards their own 10-metre line. As goes down the ranks with Callum Watkins, Brodie Croft peeling away. Miller waiting just behind him. Here comes McDonnell. Leeds gaining ground on the second tackle. Back out through to the centre again. And Leeds with a big statement win last week. We mentioned it when Hankinson made his debut at Lee. Given the way that the playoff situations are looking, Barry, that one will have sent a huge amount of confidence through this Leeds Rhinos side. High kick. And it's gathered up. As Castleford bring it forward again, 20 metres from their own line. This is good returning from Leeds Rhinos. They're pushing and pushing away.
There's no pressure on
Windley.
Sorry, Fraser. There's no pressure on Cass today. They're struggling to score points. They're struggling to get those valuable wins that these loyal fans want and deserve. But the last time they played at home, of course, it was against Warrington. They got a win. So those memories should be firmly fixed in their minds, but couldn't really have dreaded a worse start.
High kick from Hankins underneath this one. As Handley was coming back to help him out. We understand that we could get an announcement as early as Monday as far as the new coaching setup for Castleford is concerned. Chris Chester saying that it came down to two candidates who were both put to the board at the back end of this week, and a decision was made. It's now down to the various agents and what have you to thrash out a deal. The one thing that he did give away in terms of a clue was he said that the time difference would make something of an impact on this decision, which would suggest that it is somebody coming from down under. As Palatia, and he's done well here to get an offload to Andy Ackers. And that's picked up nicely as well by Cassell.
More and more impressed every time I watch him. Deserves his start. 4th game, 1st start.
Ackers out wide to the left-hand side via corner.
Sam Wood smothering defence. Clamps. Ash Hanley can't get the pass away.
Gannon gets it away. Senior gets the kick to the corner. Everybody going flying up for this one, and they've done it again. And it looks as though Lockie Miller has got the 2nd try for Leeds Rhinos. And it was another curling kick from Jake Connor that set it up for Miller on a plate.
Well, 2 tries for the visitors in just a couple of minutes here. Again, the energy and enthusiasm of the fullback gets him and his side rewards and points on the scoreboard. But it's a beautiful kick again, a measured kick. And all he does is out-competes everybody around him, Lockie Miller. I'm looking at my notes before the game on what Cass have to do. They have to tighten the defence and they have to compete for everything. And so far, every competition that's gone on in the opening 9 and a bit minutes, Leeds have won. It's going to be a long day for the Tigers if they don't get that right.
Lockie Miller with his 8th try of the season, and he is one of those players that has been absolutely pivotal at everything that Leeds have done so far this season. Brad Arthur, true to his word, having signed a new contract, he did say that he would let us know exactly what his decision would be on Monday, and sure enough, that's what he did. And a new deal in place for 2026 with a rolling contract thereafter, provided that everybody is happy. And certainly the way things are at the moment, Barry, you would get the feeling that there's been nothing but positives as far as Brad Arthur is concerned.
He's become a fan's favourite, hasn't he? There's a lot of steel in the side. The resilience is there for all to see. They've always been capable of scoring tries. This squad in particular has been capable of scoring tries, but the way that they defend, the way that they play for each other, and the way that they don't give up on lost causes. A good example of that is Lockie Miller. He's pushed through, and the way that he jumped for that 1st try, he's scored one and set one up so far, Lockie Miller.
Castleford get us off and under away again then. 11 minutes gone on the clock and Leeds 12-0 in front. It couldn't have been much of a better start really for the visitors. Singleton and Lawler involved in the tackle here as Callum Watkins tries to bring it forward. Lawler again involved to try and bring him down. Leeds slowly making their way up towards the halfway line as Ackers waits at dummy half.
2nd carry for Palacia. He's a tireless worker for the Rhinos.
He's been absolutely superb for them this season, ever present in 23 games so far. Ackers brings it back again for Connor with the kick, going for the corner. Windley was looking for it, but instead it's gone the way around to Josh Sim, who's picked that one up for Castleford. Atkin behind him. Oof, that is a massive tackle. Huge tackle going in on Jensen Windley, but he's been equal to it and got back up on his feet. And was Wallace there, making his 2nd debut for Castleford.
It's better from Alex Mellor. Loves that left side of the play of the ball. Nice tight line.
And you were talking about him before the start of this game as to just how important he is to the Castleford Tigers side this season.
Former Leeds player, played 34 times in blue and amber.
RC gets this, a high kick over the halfway line, and they've come up with it here, Castleford. And in possession, and a little chip down to the left-hand side. It's a foot race, this one, between Senior. Has he got it down? Senior and Newman racing for the corner. And it looks like Lewis Senior may have got this one down for the home side. But it's a tight call. And again, it will go upstairs to Marcus Griffiths.
Whose hand gets to the ball?
So it's tackle 5. We have an on-field decision of try. It comes from a kick. So first of all, we'll go onside, offside. So the ball's paused on the foot, and we can see there's numerous Castleford players offside. So first of all, we'll check their involvement. So was the player who contested the ball onside from the initial kick? Yes, he was. So we can go into the catch now. So the player's competing for the ball. The ball is in his hands. Feet are on the ground, so we can play on to this point. The ball has then been passed backwards. We can keep going, and we're on to another kick, so we'll go back to the wide to confirm everybody to the left is onside, which they are. And then we will take a look at the grounding. So that's 2 players competing to the ball shoulder to shoulder. Does that ball touch Newman's hand? So we can't tell from that angle because the post is in the way. So we will go around the angle to see whose hand that hits first. Is it Senior's or is it Newman's? So from this angle you can see that the ball has touched Senior's right hand, which is the hand without the strapping on, and then the ball has gone forwards in relation to the ground. I have a decision.
That's a shame, that, isn't it?
That was a very tight decision, that one.
Talk about competing. They competed through Stimpson. He ended up with the ball. What a gorgeous kick put in from the back row at Alex Mellor.
Well, there can't be many people who would win in a foot race against Harry Newman, but Lewis Senior had barged his way through in that corner, but just pushing the ball forward illegally, says the referee.
Even though they didn't get the try, at least they've been down this end of the field. At least they've started to ask some questions.
Well, it'll just remind Leeds that they're not going to have it all their own way in this game by any stretch of the imagination. One thing you can always rely on from the Castleford Tigers side is that they will give 100% effort for the full 80 minutes. Callum Watkins then for the Rhinos to the 40-metre line as Ackers peels this one back, and a turn through from Presley Cassell. Ackers waits again on the halfway line as Connor goes for the kick to the far side. And chasing after it, Elliot Wallace in 2 minds there as to what to do with it, but eventually returning it for the Tigers.
Kicks early there. We talked about the nature of this ground. It's tight, it's compact. When you're bringing the ball away and you're making 10+ metres every time you carry, before you know it, you can be over the halfway line, and then it just alters the kick that Jake Connor can put in. That may be why he's kicking and choosing to kick early in the tackle count.
Lawler needs 3 blue and amber players to bring him down. He's having a good season as well, George Lawler. 5 tries to the vice-captain's credit. As Atkin gets it back to the halfway line again. This is the last one. And Arthie hoists a high one. Miller, safe as houses underneath it. Brings it back to the 20 under the watchful eyes of Tom Amone. Croft waiting just behind him. Goes for the short pass for Ryan Hall.
Back with me.
Croft again. Short pass off to Chris Hankinson. Settling in at Leeds Rhinos after his move from Salford. That's a big hit there, going through the middle. As Leeds bring it up to the halfway line, it was Morgan Gannon who was trying to push his way through the Castleford back line. Lockie Miller, who's already been successful in that respect. Newman, show and go, and then a kick towards the corner. Oh, and a fumble there. Oh, it's a terrible error that Castleford have come up with.
Jensen Windley, he attacks the ball, runs towards it, does the right thing. 9 times out of 10 he's going to get that ball, he's going to pouch it and make good metres forward.
Well, it's handed possession on a plate for Leeds.
I don't think his coach will be too harsh on him.
Well, he's just 18 years of age, Jensen Windley. It was his first Super League appearance of the year last week against Hull.
Very impressive. In an unfamiliar position, he's got that half-back swagger that they all have. All the good uns have it.
Leeds with an opportunity, though, as Brodie Croft was able to get it back inside. Ackers is tackled just short. Pressure on the Castleford line here for the Tigers. As the Rhinos bring it forward, Lockie Miller, Handley's handoff wasn't as good as it should have been, and just hands in at the tackle there from Josh Sim.
There's no option there, Josh Sim. He has to come in, shut the player down. Gets a hand to it. You can see Ash Hanley tries to catch and pass in one movement.
So we'll get restarted on the 10-metre line, just in front of that big bank of Castleford fans away to our left-hand side. And this famous atmosphere that we normally have, a little bit muted at the moment as Leeds come forward with it through Connor. Connor could go all the way here, and he has. Has he held it up, though? The referee will want to have another look at this one. Jake Connor going on his own from short range. The referee on the field, Aaron Moore, believes that the ball has been held up, though, by the Castleford defence. And again, Marcus Griffiths will make the final decision.
So we've got no tackle and we've got a decision of no try. So we're just checking the grounding to see whether there's any evidence that the ball gets to the ground. So at this point you can see that 2 Castleford players have their hands under the ball. Now the question is, does that ball ever get to the line? You can clearly see there's numerous Castleford players' hands under the ball. Let's just take a look at the pin of the ball. There's no evidence on that angle, so we'll just go round the angles to see whether that ball does get to the line or not. That angle doesn't show us what we need. We'll go to camera 5 to see if that's any different. No, it isn't. We lose view of the ball. We'll just check all available angles. And then finally, camera 9. Due to insufficient evidence, I have a decision.
Well, it was always the likelihood, wasn't it, Barry, that if the video referee couldn't see anything more than the on-field referee, that was never going to be a try. Just held up. Connor denied then for the Rhinos. And some dogged defence from the Castleford Tigers.
Cass doing their ultimate to stop Leeds from getting over.
I get another chance here, though. Palacia, a little handoff, and Cassell going all the way here. Presley Cassell this time, surely no doubts. The referee points to the spot and blows the whistle, and the youngster gets his first Super League try. What a pounding run from Presley Cassell.
A really popular one too. Palacia, who we've said has worked extra hard, gets the ball, all the action is out the back, everybody's expecting the ball to go around the back and some shape around the outside, but a good decision from the front row who puts the young man in. As we've said, 4th game, first start, and the former West Bowling amateur in Bradford gets over for his first senior try.
Well, he was subbed in the previous 3 games, the 18-year-old. Highly impressive. He played just 6 minutes last week at Lee.
Well, he made his debut in July. I watched him in the Wakefield game, the Boxing Day Challenge game. And the anticipation on the terraces when he got onto the field, I think everybody at Headingley recognises the potential that he's showed, and to be able to hold his own at such a tender age bodes really well for his future in the game.
A very, very bright young star in the Leeds Rhinos lineup. And his first senior try in Leeds colours. It'll be a day that he has living long in the memories, I'm sure. As Connor, from fairly close range, strikes this one over to make it 3 from 3. 18 points to 0 Leeds lead, halfway through the first half, and it's been dominant so far.
Absolutely. Whenever they've got down this end of the field, they've asked questions, whether it's been through some of those pivotal players, and Croft, Connor and Miller, or on that occasion, Palacia. Great stuff from the young man.
Well, he's announced himself to the game of Super League, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come for him over the course of just the rest of this season as well, because it's so tight as far as the top places in the playoffs are concerned, with still plenty of rugby league to be played.
Well, with that game and that result last night, you could pretty much say that Hull KR are nailed on to get the league leaders' shield. But what it does is it drags Wigan back into the battle for second. The Rhinos are in the mix for that. The biggest competition is going to be who finishes in second place, I feel.
Oh, this is a lovely run from Andy Ackers. Plenty of space down the right-hand side as well, if it can find it with Brodie Croft into the corner. And Castleford carved open, thanks to a brilliant run from Andy Ackers and a simple finish from Brodie Croft.
Ruthless from the Rhinos. From the kick reception, having just scored in the previous set of 6, Brodie Croft gets on the end of that break. Andy Acker coming back into the side. He's played just 8 games from 23. They go on the short side, a nice little show and goal. Plenty of blue and amber shirts tried to get there. The old man Ryan Hall is desperately shouting at the back, "Give me a pass!"
I haven't had a try for 9 games. Give us a go.
I think he's got the word that I've had a pound bet with you. But yeah, great stuff. And Cass Tigers on the back heels. Lewis Senior with too many decisions to make defensively, always going backwards, always with his arms outstretched, ends up doing nothing.
Ruthless from the Rhinos. 22 minutes gone, 22 points scored, and a couple extra possibly on the way if Jake Connor can slide this one between the posts. And he's been deadly with it so far, 3 from 3 to add to the 51 goals in Super League that he got going into this game. And this would just make it all the more difficult for the home side to come back, and the flags go up. 24-0. This is dreamland stuff for the Rhinos.
More than a point a minute for Leeds. Chris Chester's left his position in the stands. He's come in, sit in the dugout. Wants to look at the body language, wants to listen to the noise and the talk between his players. And the one thing you can say about Cass is that they turn up. This group of players, even though they've been behind many times on the scoreboard, they haven't thrown the towel in. There haven't been many white flags, and with the scoreboard looking like it does, I think Chris Chester is fearing the worst.
Well, Leeds have won all their last 5 Super League games against Castleford by double-digit margins, including the fact that they've conceded only 6 points in less than 4 of those. So the writing on the wall as far as history is concerned, and in this first half of the first 40, they are well and truly in control, as Handley brings it through to the 40-metre line.
In control and moving the ball about well. Another early kick from Jake Connor, 40-20.
He's going for it. It's just wiggling it away. And Wallace was just quick enough to get back and snaffle it from the touchline on the far side. But when you're hot, why not have a go?
It's a good attitude from the Rhinos. Kick when they're on the front foot. And rather than being disappointed they've given possession away, the blue and amber players are getting on the front foot. making sure they chase hard and making those tackles.
There's Griffin, who's come on as a substitute for Castleford. LC wide to the left flank, and a tackle bust there as Senior comes through and wriggles away from Brodie Clough before Assi again towards the Leeds post. They managed to push it back. Griffin back in control, and he loses possession almost immediately, giving it straight back to Chris Hankinson.
Well, George Griffin, Cas Tigers, that's probably the best set of possession for some time. They get to the kick. Griffin tries to find one of his teammates, but only ends up finding Hankinson.
Here's Hall through the middle.
And those things, when you're in this position on the scoreboard, those things you can physically see players in the Cas shirts, shoulders slump and a big sigh.
Ricky Miller finding Callum Watkins in the centre again for Leeds Rhinos. Ackers drifts out to the left-hand side to find Corner. He goes the other direction this time. And Miller switching play. Croft right out to the corner for Newman. And Hall runs into a yellow brick wall. Leeds on the switch again, though, with Croft, a high kick. Everybody chasing it after this one. And on this occasion, Castleford come up with it.
Good take. Is it Josh Sim who gets up? Or is it Sam Wood? Yeah, I think it's Sam Wood who looks like he's taken a knock.
And Sim coming away with it on the second occasion. So Stimson is brought down by Watkins. Here's Griffin again. They're finding it tough to get out of their own half here, Castleford, but Amon now finding a little bit of space as they get it down the line now with Wallace up against the touchline, getting away from one tackle and another, releasing Lewis Senior. Palacia comes in for the tackle.
Good ball movement from Cass.
It's quick stuff here from the Tigers as Assi goes for the kick towards the Leeds posts. Miller is underneath it again, under real pressure from Griffin. It was a good kick chase.
That's better from Castleford Tigers, using the ball. I think probably Lewis Senior let go of that ball a little bit too early. Couldn't do much with it. Sorry, couldn't do much with it. Elliot Wallace, he was already covered.
Plenty of action coming up over the course of the weekend and, of course, next week. So many games. Look at them ticking away at the bottom of your screen that will have such a big, big impact on the top 6 places. It is so tight. Every single game, every single point is going to count between now and the end of the season when it comes to the race for Old Trafford. He's Connor, hoists this one back again towards the corner, looking for Windley, who took 2 bites at the cherry almost. Blows his whistle here.
James Bentley, fresh onto the field.
And already getting himself involved.
Yeah. As he puts the tackle in. Yeah, I think there's a bit of clamping going on. Jensen Windley's only been in first team for 2 minutes. He's already learnt a trick or two.
Castleford will regain possession on their own 40-metre line. Lawler just waiting at dummy half. Tom Amon. Castleford, if they can find more of those little periods of purple patch possession, and they might be able to try and crowbar some kind of a way back into this game, but they won't if they manage to do that.
Well, there's your man again, James Bentley. He's definitely a disruptor. And the Australian forwards complaining that they were hands-on, that helped it on its way. Bentley, yeah. Well, we've seen those go either way.
We've seen him challenged as well on the odd occasion.
You wouldn't challenge on a 50-foot. You wouldn't challenge on that unless you were very, very sure.
I do think players have got more wise to the captain's challenges. The season has gone on, though. You seem to get more and more where they're getting it right.
I think Fraser, they've put away their ego. if they don't like the fact that they've made a mistake and they want to see if they can get away with it, they've stopped putting those kinds of challenges in.
It was always going to take a bit of a bedding in period, wasn't it?
Big Sam on for the Rhinos now.
He is the wrecking ball, Sam Lithoni. 20 metres from the Castleford line as Croft misses out. Watkins goes for Connor. Through the middle is Gannon. 10 metres short now, the Rhinos.
Miller screaming for the ball.
Away to Bentley. And held up here by Lithoni. He's gone in again. He's short. This time just very, very short. But that's exactly the kind of play we'd expect to see from him. Leeds can smell blood, though, with Connor. Connor skipping back inside again. Long pass over the top, wide to Lockie Miller. Lockie Miller skips and steps, gets it back in again. Leeds still keeping the ball alive here with Hankinson. Hankinson going wide to his right-hand side. And now Handley with the chip forward. Everybody chasing after it. Oh, a little slip over. Oh, has that been tapped down? It looks as though it might have been. And it might be James Bentley who has got his hands on the ball here.
We've got a try.
The player who was disrupting Castleford left, right and centre as soon as he arrived on the pitch might have got another try for the Rhinos. But again, referee Marcus Griffiths will have the final say on this one.
It's tackle 4. We have an on-field decision of try, so we'll pose the ball on the foot and identify who's onside and who's offside. So the players to the right are onside, and then outside the 10 of the player in a realistic opportunity to collect the ball. So now we're just looking at the grounding. So does this ball get grounded? The ball is on the ground, Bentley's hand is on the ball, and there is downward pressure. I have a decision.
He's such a difficult player to try and defend, Jake Connor, because he does the basics really well. He does the fundamentals of his position and his role within the team really well. But he also does stuff you can't plan for. He saw the open space. He saw James Bentley just gesturing towards, should I accelerate here? Puts the kick in. James Bentley accelerates. It comes off the back of, again, more good work from Lockie Miller. But the recognition from Jake Connor, the skill to deliver it, you have to feel sorry for Jensen Winley. Just lost his footing at the wrong moment, but my word, at the point where Leeds are going backwards, losing ground, finding players, and then strike, pounce, and capitalise. Great work.
Just look at the joy on James Bentley's face as well. Let's see, dab down for the Leeds Rhinos, but Jake Connor, as you say, showing exactly why he was one of those players threatening at the top of the Steve Prescott Man of Steel rankings before the votes went behind the curtain, so to speak. And here he is with the opportunity to add another couple. And I don't think anybody would have predicted a scoreline like this. After 31.5 minutes, Leeds Rhinos well and truly in command.
Well, it's actually dampened down the atmosphere, hasn't it? Those home fans have seen Leeds go over the try line 4 or 5 times now in quick succession. Just wait till Leeds are attacking this side in front of their fans.
That's still to come. It's a huge cheer and excitement from the Leeds fans just behind Sam Lithoni as he picked the ball up there to go running towards the Castleford defenders. And Gannon coming away with it now. Leeds really in the mood here, and in the mood to get as many tries as they possibly can. They are putting Castleford well and truly to the sword as young Ben Littlewood makes his way onto the Leeds pitch. Here's Miller, who's been a real thorn in the side for Castleford throughout the afternoon so far.
He's brought his stepping boots, hasn't he?
His dancing shoes. He is in the mood. Here is Littlewood, another player of which a great deal is expected. Hankinson by contrast, has been around quite a long time as Handley chips this one forward here for Croft, just short. He's managed to keep it going, still going. Oh, has he lost possession there?
Dropped that, Fraser.
It looks like he may have dropped possession there, Ash Handley, under pressure from the Castleford defenders. But again, once more, just to make sure, Aaron Moore decides to send it to Marcus Griffiths to decide.
So it's tackle 5. We have no try.
We've got no try on ground.
First of all, yeah, we've got no try on grounding for a knock-on. So first of all, we'll go to ball on foot. So we can play on until this point. We can keep going. These are all passes. We can keep going. That ball is in possession. Keep going. The ball is offloaded at that point. So now into onside, offside. So everybody to the right of the kicker is onside. So now we'll go to the pick-up. So the ball touches Croft, who is in possession of the ball. Does the ball carrying arm hit the floor? No, it doesn't. The ball is then passed. The ball is caught by a Leeds player. Now we're just looking at the grounding. So does he maintain possession of the ball? No, he doesn't. I have a decision.
Jensen Winlet. He's done his job well.
Yeah, atoning a little bit, perhaps, for the unfortunate error just a few moments before. And so, as a result, Ash Handley is denied. But I tell you what, pass out from Brodie Croft. How on earth did he get rid of the ball there?
Well, you can see now there's a definite refusal to die with the ball. And they want to keep that momentum, keep those offloads coming, because not only have they got the skill to offload the ball, they've got the confidence to put themselves in a position to catch it. And they back the skill.
They have got confidence, that is for sure. They have it running by the bucket load through their veins at the moment.
When the scoreboard looks like it does, 30 points up, just over half an hour gone, you sort of get into that free-flowing nature and mindset. Early kick on the third.
Yeah, it's almost as if everything that Leeds have tried has come off for them. Miller on the halfway line. He's been an architect of a lot of good stuff from Leeds this afternoon.
Lass has kicked that ball on third tackle. He's gained next to no metres. Just looks like he's handed possession over to me. I'm not sure about that kick.
Leeds trying to smash their way through with James McDonald
Go third.
on the far side. He's brought back in through to the middle. And Connor with a quick offload.
Who's Sam? Go four.
Macca's now picking it up for Connor. Back with Miller. Miller with a chip through this forward and gobbled up very well this time from Jensen Windley. He read that very, very well, and he's returned it well too.
Really well done. The young fullback picks up the ball, gets 15-20 metres for his side. Sam Lasoni was was chasing that kick. Oh, George Lawler. Another one of the players who's so consistent in his performances and ever present for the Tigers this year. He's never going to let you down. I talked about Alex Mellor before the game. I put George Lawler in that bracket as well. Never stops trying. Tireless worker.
38 tackles he put in against Hull KR last week.
He can play anywhere in the pack, literally anywhere in the pack. He's been used as a hooker, been used as a number 9. Obviously, squad number's number 10. He can play in the back row too. And it looks like he's in formation for scrum half.
Here's Croft for the Rhinos.
Move, all boys.
Leeds then given yet another opportunity to try and put some more points on the board as Sam Lasoni ties up 3 in the tackle here for Castleford. Saps a bit more strength. Ackers goes to his right-hand side. Miller with a quick handoff. It's going for the corner again for Ryan Hall. Oh, this way we thought. Was the drought about to come to an end?
Just a little bit ambitious, wasn't it?
Wasn't the best pass.
A bit high, knew what he wanted to do. The winger was in field, Elliot Wallace, a bit more Yeah,
it's coming.
I told you it was coming. Don't you tell me what I've told you. It's like being at home.
Okay.
You've had a pine bet with me,
Well,
and I'm claiming it as well. If he goes in.
I do not doubt that for one moment.
Ball one.
Lawler. Moving on.
Two. Police down.
Castleford. Hang on. Referee not happy with the way the ball was played there.
No, that was
Pushing
that
everybody
tackle was
back again.
completed.
Here's Tom Amone.
Move all the way, James. All the way.
Leeds defensively done a great job so far, keeping Castleford at bay. There's only that chance early on in the piece when Lewis Senior was adjudged to have knocked the ball on as he won the foot race. But this is a chance here again for Gannon, having picked up the intercept for the Rhinos. 10 metres short of the Castleford line. Corner again. He'll cause the boxer tricks to open up, no doubt. There's Littlewood looking for his first try as well. Ackers just behind him. Goes to his right-hand side. Corner through the hands once more. Newman looking for Ryan Hall. Hall now. Again, 10 metres short. Can't get the offload away. And the tackle is completed. But they've got tackles in the bank here, Leeds. Down the line it goes again. Leeds so smooth, so quick, finding Handley. Handley keeping it alive. Hankinson still in possession for Leeds. Handley lining up just behind him. And Lockie Miller now gets the dancing shoes out. Goes one way, then's the other. And Leeds happy to just pass the ball around here. McDonnell getting in away. This is lovely stuff to cross in towards Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall breaks the duck. His first try after a 9-game drought. And Super League's leading scorer is back among the try-scoring sheet again. And Io Barrier Pie.
Yes, there we go. Well, the ability of Leeds Rhinos, even when they're losing ground, to select the right option, the right pass, the right player. Lewis Senior takes the gamble, ends up in no man's land. Brodie Croft involved. James McDonnell finds a lovely offload. He's a pass master at that. And then the old man goes in again. That expression is one of relief. It's one of relief and one of pride and pleasure of you paying me some money. Right, drop it now.
I make that 261 now.
Yeah, you've just given me a pound note, Fraser. We're on coins now.
He's now 10 ahead of Lee's Josh Charnley. And it's his 8th of the season, Ryan Hall. Still going strong at the age of 37. And going for another dance round again. Corner then. 5 from 5 so far for Leeds Rhinos. Jake Corner. And the scoreline looking better and better if you're a Rhinos fan, but absolutely horrendous for Castleford Tigers. The flags go up, and he keeps his perfect record.
That's it, 100% off the kicking tee. 6 tries, 6 conversions, and it's half-time. Leeds Rhinos in a really commanding position. Making the ball available, players running into spaces. That pass there from McDonnell is a beauty. And the decisive one comes from Brodie Croft.
And Ryan Hall brings a close to here on Sky Sports. Well, Down Under could be calling, we understand, as far as the next Castleford Tigers coach is concerned. and whoever it may be, they have an awful lot of work to do, because Chris Chester has been sat there in the dugout cutting a rather forlorn figure for the last good 5 minutes or so. So you would expect, Mario, that it's been his backroom staff that have been, well, reading the riot act perhaps to the Castleford Tigers players after that first half performance.
Well, Brett Delaney is on the coaching staff, a former Rhinos legend. He knows exactly what this fixture should mean. Yeah, I can't remember a Leeds derby being as one-sided as this one has so far.
And one of the things that has been a real hallmark of it in many ways is the fact that normally we get this incredible Castleford atmosphere, and the Rhinos, after what, 10 minutes in the game, have absolutely silenced this crowd. It's very, very quiet in comparison to how noisy it would normally be. The Cas fans are normally right on top of the players, letting them know exactly what they think. But, well, at times during that first half, you could have heard a pin drop. Leeds in possession, 36 points to nil they lead after the first half, and that man Jake Connor has been right at the centre of it, the tormentor of Castleford Tigers throughout the first half.
That's his worst kick. He put it 30 foot in the air, but about 5 foot forward.
Here's Senior for the Tigers. What can they do in this second half, Barry? Is it just a case of trying to play for some pride and put some points on the board?
You've got to ignore the scoreboard, and the mentality of Castleford players here is, listen, a lot of people have turned up, they've paid good money, it's a Saturday afternoon. Let's try and show some pride and some passion in the badge, in the shirt. Doesn't matter what the result now, it's about the second half performance.
Barry hasn't spent his pound that I gave him yet at half-time, but I'm sure that one will be sat in the bottom of the pocket for quite a while after Ryan Hall got his try at the end of the first half. One of 6 tries in the first 40 as Atkin hoists this one up. Everyone going for it, and Sam Wood has come up with the ball. And then it's passed straight back again into the hands of the Leeds Rhinos players. I think it's Littlewood who may have caught that one. He has.
Yeah, found himself in the right place at the right time. Cass with a kick and a challenge, end up trying to find an offload, and it's probably a good summary of where those two teams are. Every offload hits a Rhinos hand. Every offload from a Cass player is met with a little bit of nerves and apprehension.
Stimson took a real whack during that last challenge there as well. Got up to his feet very, very gingerly indeed, but he's back in the thick of the action again now for Castleford. As Ackers waits for it for Leeds at dummy half. Onto Lissoni, fending players off left, right and centre, still going Sam Lissoni. And when you've got a player like that in your armoury, he will cause problems.
He lifts everybody, he lifts the crowd when he comes on. Every carry, he lifts his teammates. That's a half break from Josh Sim, and anybody who tries to defend him and tackle him, he lifts them off the feet as well.
Here he is again, involved in the action as Lawler plays it short. Castleford now just floating over the halfway line as Mellor was tackled. Here's a moan.
He's going to leave a big hole, you know. He's going over to Hull FC. There'll be a black and white shirt next year. They need somebody of equal impact coming off the bench next year.
Atkin. Well, this is the question, isn't it? It's what is going to happen to this Castleford side.
He looks gassed at the minute. It won't be long before he gets a rest.
Leeds pick it back up with Ryan Hall. Yeah, quite a few players here you would think perhaps playing for their futures and whether or not they're going to be part of the Tigers team next season under the new coach, whoever that may be. The suspicion is that it is from somebody from down under. Perhaps we'll be able to shed a bit more light on that when we speak to Chris Chester a little bit later on. But Leeds on the prowl here. Lockie Miller, lovely handoff in towards Ash Handley, and that is another try for the Rhinos in front of the Rhinos fans. Try number 7. Leeds are rampant.
Well, they appreciate that, don't they, the travelling fans? But it's been the theme of the day. Push through, push support, turn up, and you just never know when you're going to get an offload. you have to say it's tired defence, and with just 4 minutes on the clock, it's not physical fatigue, it's mental fatigue. Nice hands, Hankinson to Lockie Miller, a catch and pass again from Jake Connor. Oh, it's just relentless from the Rhinos.
That flick pass inside from the edge of the line here. I mean, that's the kind of pass that could go anywhere at any time, but as I mentioned, it does seem that everything that Leeds are trying this afternoon is coming off for them.
I think it's an intelligence to expose and exploit space. Josh Sim comes in, tries to shut the player down, and Jake Connor catches and passes in the same motion, and then they're always in trouble. Always in trouble.
Well, if it carries on like this, it'll be 6 in a row. And the last time that Leeds won as many in a row against Castleford, it was a 5-game stretch between 2010 and 2012, so another bit of history. Looks like it's going to be made this afternoon for the Rhinos. Connor with a 100% record so far with the boot, as well as causing Castleford all kinds of problems with ball in hand. And there's another one, 7 from 7.
42-0 on the scoreboard. And you have to say, at times, it's looked easy for the Rhinos. Hankinson, who comes from the opposite.
Gannon's pass was superb to get back in, and Handley finishing it off. Simple as you like.
They make it look simple. There's some difficult skill executed. Sam Lasoni on one of those thunderous carries to weigh up all the options, to slow your mind down while you're running at full pace. They're elite level skills that the Rhinos have shown a couple of times.
Here's Littlewood. For Leeds Rhinos, Castleford have won just one of their last 7 Super League games. That one is, of course, against Warrington, but they've lost their last 2 by margins in excess of 30 points. Chris Chester watching on from the sidelines, stern-faced. Hackers demi-half for that high kick through from Brodie Croft. Windley going backwards to try and chase this one, and does well. Leeds defending the kick and keeping Castleford just 15 metres from their own line.
They're in cruise control, Leeds Rhinos, at the minute. 47 minutes on the clock. They've hardly put a foot wrong, in complete control. And for the Cas Tigers players, you have just got to ignore the scoreboard. Think about your job, think about your role, think about your teammates and not letting them down.
Senior's lost it here. Knock on, says the referee.
And it does seem, when you're behind on the scoreboard, the perception is every mistake results in a try or something that damages us. They're probably not making that many more mistakes than the Rhinos, but because they're in such a hole mentally, they're almost expecting points to follow.
Castleford have got a player down in back play on the far side. I'm just trying to see.
Is it Josh Sim?
Who it is? I think it is Josh Sim. He's having a bit of treatment to his ankle by the looks of things. Or was it the hammy? Well, either way, he's made his way back onto the field and he's wobbling around a little bit. Miller finding McDonnell. Hall waiting, but Ackers will pick it up for Leeds. Miller again. Bentley. Ackers again, and you can see the way that Leeds are just floating around on the edge of the ball now. It's as if the urgency is gone. It's almost as if they feel like they can relax a bit in this second half. And certainly with the scoreline the way it is, You couldn't blame them. Bentley, wide left again. So, the move comes to an end. Bentley once more, though. They'll find it back in towards Newman. A long ball out wide to the right-hand side, and Ryan Hall will get his second try of the afternoon. And having gone 9 games without a try, 2 in 1 against Castleford.
It was probably the most scruffiest part of the entire 49 minutes or so for Leeds. You can see Bentley ends up with a ball, throws a pass that hits the deck, and the pass goes out wide. Ryan Hall in acres of space. Elliot Wallace had no chance of stopping the big man that close to the try line. And you said about the temptation for Leeds to just slack off a little bit. I don't think that's the Brad Arthur DNA. I don't think that's what goes through these players' minds. They might naturally fall into that or subconsciously fall into that. But the talk they'll be having, internal and external, when they're in that little huddle there is, look, we don't drop our standards, we keep going, we don't get sloppy. That pass that Bentley puts in is a little bit sloppy. Let's tighten everything up and stay professional.
6 tries in the first half, 2 already in the second. And Leeds Rhinos sending a message to all the other teams around them as we go into this last stretch of the season and the race for the playoff places, that they thoroughly intend to be one of those inside the top 6. As Connor with one of his most difficult of the lot and misses for the first time this afternoon.
Well, met with a big boo from everybody. He's hit the beans on toast. Ryan Hall gets the ball over the try line. All come about from this Bentley pass, long pass out wide. Can't improve the angle. And Ryan Hall, always a favourite, always a crowd favourite, takes the applause and gives it back.
Leeds will have possession again. This Sam Lissoni.
He's found his second win, Sam Lissoni. I thought with 4 minutes into the second half, I thought there might have been a temptation from the coaching staff to rotate him, but Brad Arthur may use this game to get some minutes under his belt.
Yeah, he's giving away nothing, is he, Sam Lissoni, with ball in hand.
It's not when he's got the ball, it's when he's not got the ball that he's just a little bit vulnerable. But that's big fellas for you.
Corner sweeps it out to the left-hand side for Gannon.
Contact that from Chris Atkin.
Well, Atkin is one of those players who you would expect to see putting in a full shift week in, week out when he gets the chance. Obviously signed from Salford in May. He's played in 11 successive games in 3 different positions for Castleford since he's been here. As Windley tries to bring it forward again, but Leeds once more in defence, pushing him back, trying to make sure that they put themselves in a good position every time they're in defence.
I make it 3 players playing today that were at Salford at the start of 2025. I don't want to open that can of worms out for today, but
well, let's not go there.
The sooner they sort that out, the better.
Long pass out wide for Wallace, and he makes the right decision eventually. I think skipped away from 1 or 2 defenders. And the ball back inside for Tom Amone. And Amone now being shoved back by the Leeds defence, including Sam Lissoni.
See that, dear. Tom Amone makes 80 metres.
That's 2 of the biggest men on the pitch there, going head to head.
Tom Amone was in the dream team last year. Such was his impact in a Lee Leopard shirt.
Miller with a quick offload into Hankinson, who was almost away there, but Sam Wood getting back to tackle him.
Jared O'Connor is on for Leeds. I'm trying to work. Oh, Sam Lasoni's gone off. So they're going to play with two hookers, O'Connor and Andy Ackers.
Here's Mustafa has come on for Castleford Tigers as well. And here is Jared, who recently became a father. Back in through to the middle for McDonnell. Ackers waiting just behind him. He's got Newman and Hall away to his right. He's gone to the left instead, though. Misses out O'Connor. Finds Connor. Miller. Oh, and it just comes off the hands of Handley and a knock-on, says the referee.
It's a knock-on and a rare mistake from Leeds Rhinos, but I'm just watching Cass, very passive in defence, backing off. They didn't start the game like that. They're trying to take metres away. And when I've watched them throughout 2025, when it's come time to get off the line, when it's come time to be aggressive in the line speed, we've lost all of that so far this afternoon. Chris Chester, all the coaches. 25 minutes left of this game.
What is he looking for, do you think, for this last 25 minutes?
Who gives up?
If it is just about effort.
Who gives up?
Yeah.
Who gives up? I played in some very, very good teams with some incredible players, but I also played in games where this kind of scoreline, and it was at the front of my mind. I don't want to be the one that's embarrassed on Monday morning when we're reviewing this game, and I don't want to lose the respect to the people around me.
Lawler, one of those players who you would expect to be giving it 100% right to the death. As Westerman gets the pass away. Ball is dropped though, and Leeds regaining. They're in possession with Bentley, and they're running away here with Ash Handley. Handley going all the way to the try line here to get another try for the Leeds Rhinos.
We'll scratch this off, you know.
Well, the referee again will have to make a decision here. He's going back to the video referee once more. No try is given on the field, so it will probably come down to what happened there in terms of how Leeds regained possession. So, once more, we'll hear from Marcus Griffiths.
So, we have no tackle, and the live decision is no try. We're just checking whether Sam Hall is tackled before he's in possession of the ball, which he is. I have a decision.
Well, you absolutely called it perfectly right there, Barry. It's all down to where that ball came from.
Yeah, Ash Handley. He knows Sam Hall is going to get the ball. Ash Handley collects him before he's had chance to even have a look at the ball. And you can see all the Cass players. They turn round straight away. He talked to play to the whistle. That's what Ash Handley has done. But no try, nil point.
Well, I mentioned not long ago that Joe Stimpson took a big whack early on in the second half and then was very gingerly getting back to his feet. He's gone off, though, and has had a head injury assessment, which he has failed. So Joe Stimpson will play no further part in the game for Castleford. Cass, though, have possession. They have it back 10 metres from the Leeds line. And look at this defending from the Leeds Rhinos. As they push Castleford back just that extra metre here and there. Tom Amone trying to find an extra bit of space. Kane Robb. Short for Assey. Down the line it goes, and then a knock-on. And the referee will call this one back.
Well, Harry Newman comes in to shut that play down, but it may well have come at some cost. Harry Newman's still on the floor.
And the gum shield is out as well. It doesn't look well.
I think it might be a knee-on-knee clash.
Well, this could be really, really important as far as Leeds are concerned, because he has been one of their key players
as he goes out
the
to
season.
shut the player down. I think he does. He catches It's Chris Atkin, who's a shorter in stature player than he is.
I think you're right, it did look like kneecap on kneecap, didn't it? And that will be very, very sore indeed.
They're painful. It's an impact injury rather than a twist or a tweak. May well be a bang rather than any kind of damage ligament and tendon wise, but I'm not a physio or a doctor. I've just had
that much we know.
I've just had 1,000 injuries, Fraser.
You've had every injury in the book, but
more than once.
Never known which ones they actually are.
More than once. That's the beauty of rugby league.
Well, this is true. These guys are astonishingly tough. Week in, week out, we see them putting their bodies on the line.
May well get a green card here because he's been down.
Well, I thought I heard the referee saying that it was effectively a natural stoppage in the game, so there'd be no need for a green card to come out. And Harry Newman, surprisingly, has stayed on the pitch. Anyway, the referee gets us restarted with Leeds back in possession. 10 metres away or so from their own line. Newman still trying to stretch out that knee.
With a bang, hematoma, a dead leg, the last thing you want to do is stand still. Once he stops running around, that's it.
That's when the blood starts to get really to it.
The tightening up, the stiffening up, that's it.
Yeah.
So they'll give him as long as they can, see how long they can get out of him. It looks like he's running okay. He's just in front of our gantry position.
Jared O'Connor is eventually brought down before Ackers feeds it out to Connor, and then Miller, and now Handley.
Jake Connor ready to put the kick up.
Miller it is, though, that goes for it instead to the corner. Everybody with their eyes on this one. The ball comes loose. Jake Connor will pick it up for Leeds. Jake Connor brings it down and dabs down for another try. And this time, Leeds Rhinos, no doubts about it, are well and truly on their way to a very important 2 points.
Well, Jake Connor, before the kick is put in, turns round to the players on his right, gestures towards them what type of kick it's going to be. If he puts it in, it gets passed to the other side. Lockie Miller puts the kick in, and the bounce is favourable. Just look at all the communication. Just like Jake Connor gets on the front foot, keeps moving in an attempt to see what's there for him, rather than sulk and say, I wanted to put the kick in, puts himself in the frame. He's been outstanding. The Betfred player of the match is a difficult one today, but Jake Connor, Lockie Miller, Brodie Croft have all had massive, huge involvements. Jake Connor is just mesmerising. I'm watching him in attack. The communication he gives to everybody around him. Everybody's job must be that much easier playing in and around that player.
The hour mark is passed and the half century is up for Leeds Rhinos. And Connor has the chance to add another 2, and already there are Castleford fans who are leaving the stadium. They've seen enough. 2 more for Jake Connor. 8 from 9. It's not a bad return at all, is it?
Well, Jake Connor and the Rhinos are having an absolute field day. The kick isn't even a difficult one to deal with, is it? Talked about contesting for everything. Everything that's a competition. If you're a Castleford Tigers player, you have to put yourself in the frame, and virtually every contest has been won by the players in blue and amber.
And they're not done yet. Still got 18.5 minutes or so to go, and you fear for the Castleford defence that there might yet be more tries to come. Lockie Miller, he's in the mood, Lockie Miller. He really is. He's had his dancing shoes on big time today, hasn't he?
The missed tackle count will be horrendous for Chris Chester.
Handley. And Hankinson waiting just behind him. Connor, long pass out. Jared O'Connor now over the halfway line, inside Castleford territory. What do you think Brad Arthur will be thinking about this performance, given the fact that they've got some very, very important games to come?
Massive game against Hull KR on
next
Thursday.
week.
Yeah, massive game. He'll be thinking, I just hope I can get through the next, 17 minutes without any injuries.
High hoisted one from Miller, picked up by Windley. And the fact that they've now got some stability, Leeds, knowing full well that Brad Arthur has signed that new contract and will be here next year, and
it's huge. It really is. And I look at the Warrington situation. I think that the road started to get rocky for Warrington when Sam Burgess was interviewed for the Perth job, and then George Williams had a few conversations about whether he was staying or not. That may have coincided, it may have been coincidence, but for me, I don't think it was. I think that stability and security that Leeds have got now will allow them to kick on, to plan and have a real go at the back end of this year.
Playoff place is still very much up for grabs, and of course straight after this game we're over in Hull as they take on Lee in another game that could prove pivotal.
And when I was talking about teams contesting for second place, shame on me, I forgot about Lee Leopards. Lee Leopards are coming up on the outside, and they can and do trouble everybody they play against.
Well, they had been in a brilliant run of form right up until that game last week. Leeds were the victors on that occasion. Another big statement of intent as far as the Rhinos are concerned. Connor offloading it to Callum Watkins. Still going. This is lovely play from Leeds. Bentley could be in here, and he finds Brodie Croft. And Croft gets his second of the game. And Leeds Rhinos have put Castleford Tigers well and truly to the sword.
Offloads, willingness to push up and be a genuine option when that ball is offloaded, and then when in doubt, press the accelerator. That's been one of the keys to victory for Leeds Rhinos today. Jared O'Connor, Andy Ackers combined on the short side. Your man Jake Connor weighs it up perfectly, and again it's just about players flooding forward, making themselves a genuine option, and when they get the ball, bang, ruthless.
10 tries. 10 tries the Rhinos have run in now in this game. And, well, as much as I may have speculated about the possibility of them
That's awful.
taking their foot off the gas, they haven't. But yeah, that is a telling statistic right there, Barry.
3 tackles. Talked about Chris Chester not wanting, almost not wanting to look at a figure as high as 43. He'll obviously have to deal with it, but that's horrendous. There's no better bloke to be in position to deal with this. Gone through everything in the game, Chris Chester, as a player, as a coach, as a DOR as he is now. And that coach can't come soon enough, can it? I know he gets put in place next year, but hopefully the news will give the lift to Cass that they need.
Well, it was a big decision to relieve Danny Maguire of his responsibilities not so long ago. But Chris Chester perhaps under a little bit of pressure now to make sure that whoever comes in to replace him shows some signs of progress, because the new owners at this club are very ambitious. They want to see Castleford putting in better performances week in, week out than this.
You're quite right, sir. I think of Castleford as an area, there isn't any team, any good team in any era that doesn't have a player that's either played for Lock Lane or Cass Panthers. They produce some amazing rugby league players, and you'd have a decent team if you get everybody born in Castleford playing for Cass.
Well, it is one of the most important things in this town, isn't it? Rugby league, they live and breathe it.
It's the only thing.
Well, you come here before the game and you see the kids' games being played on this pitch beforehand, and there are hundreds and hundreds of kids running around, parents here as well, watching them, cheering them on. They live and breathe it.
Oh, hey, don't stand. Oh, 4.
But at the moment, that spirit of rugby league is not being represented by the team on the pitch, unfortunately. Although at the same point, you've got to hand it to the way Leeds Rhinos have gone about their business this afternoon.
Last tackle this.
Hankinson with a chip forward. Windley will pick it up. Trying to offload to Wallace, but the referee has shouted that the tackle has been completed. Senior.
Move all the way back.
Atkin again. Wood.
Move back now.
Singleton.
Move, wedges, here. Go 4.
Rob offloads to Griffin. To the halfway line, and this is the 5th tackle, and Dejan RC will hoist it up.
Hankinson at fullback drops it.
Is Muiz Mustafa.
This could be a consolation for everybody. They managed to get over and pull some points. The last thing they want is that duck egg next to the name.
Here's Singleton. Singleton, another player who's given the ball, will run his blood to water as Rob gets it out towards RC. Still can't find a way through here yet. Castleford Tigers. Atkin weighs up his options. RC is to his left, and he finds him again short for Singleton. Leeds players bring him down. Kane Rob once more. Chip through from Atkin, chasing after it, and it's simple for Hankinson, who drops to his feet.
Hankinson and his versatility now is being called in at fullback. Made the mistake on the previous play. Talked about Brad Arthur and him wanting to just look after players, put them in cotton wool. Lockie Miller has left the field, just leaving the field over the sideline. There's Harry Newman, who took that bang on his kneecap about 5 minutes or so ago.
Staring down the barrel of a huge defeat here. Castleford Tigers, and they've had 1 or 2 big ones over the course of the season. 36 points to 6 they lost last week at Hull KR. 40-0 they were beaten at St Helens.
Muzzy Mustafa wasn't ready for that offload. It ricochets off him and they give possession away. You can't blame the players for trying something.
Well, we're into the last 10 minutes. And 58 points to 0. There's a commanding scoreline. Leslie Cassell has gone down here in a tackle. Referee having a close look at this one. The physio is on and the whistle has now been blown. The last thing that Brad Arthur will want will be another injury to one of his forwards.
Holding his shoulder. It was a hefty challenge on him. As he goes into contact, he gets a player up top, a player at the bottom.
Sam Hall involved in that tackle along with George Griffin. Well, Presley Cassell's had a great game so far, starting this game for Leeds Rhinos and getting his first try as well.
Satisfying afternoon for Brad Arthur and Jamie Langley, the coaching staff. Anything but satisfying for Chris Chester. I've heard him talk this week about the importance and the passion of a West Yorkshire derby. Well, there hasn't been that much passion on show today. They haven't been allowed to show passion. The pace and the control that Leeds have had in this game.
Oh, he's holding his shoulder here. Presley Cassell, this doesn't look good, does it?
I don't know whether it's his pec.
Immediately as he hit the deck, he knew he was in a bit of trouble there.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's a pectoral strain, tear.
Well, news on the grapevine is that Leeds might have one or two in the forward line, slowly starting to come back.
They can't afford to lose forwards. Cooper Jenkins picked up an injury in training. They already have Mikolaj Aledzki on the sideline, Tom Holroyd, both trying to recover from big injuries. Mikolaj's a facial injury, Tom Holroyd is a wrist injury.
And as we say, with those key games coming up, they can't afford to lose anymore. Gannon waiting behind Hankinson as Leeds look to inflict further wounds on the Castleford Tigers. Callum Watkins tackled 20 metres short of the Castleford line. Connor with a no-look pass. Littlewood.
He's shown up well. He's got involved, defended strong, presented himself for the ball, Ben Littlewood.
Lovely work from Connor. Picked up by O'Connor. And is that knock on? Yes, it is. As referee calls that one back for James McDonald's touch. And a little bit of blessed relief for Castleford.
Jake Connor just stayed on the floor. He's come away limping.
Well, this is the danger zone now, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
With not, what, 8.5 minutes to go.
The game's gone.
Yeah.
The game's gone. Leeds are in sort of third gear.
And the last thing you want to see is that, if you're a Leeds fan.
But as players and ex-players will tell you, you cannot play this game at 50%. It's all or nothing. Oh, hat-trick!
Here comes Ryan Hall. He's got away from his marker. Eventually brought down by Elliot Wallace, who'd scrambled back very, very quickly. Croft out wide to the left. Hankinson lets it go to Connor. Connor going for Callum Watkins into the corner, looking for Handley again. Ash Handley in the corner for another Leeds Rhinos try. And even in third gear, they can still find the ball over the line.
We'll talk about gears. Ryan Hall was looking for a lower gear, or a higher gear, should I say. Didn't have the speed and pace of yesteryear. A mistake, a fumble, and the veteran winger picks the ball up, pins his ears back, and Elliot Wallace makes the tackle. He doesn't panic, Ryan Hall, takes the tackle, plays the ball. It goes from sideline to sideline, and that's a great finish. Ash Handley steps off that left foot, glides inside, and gets the latest try for the Rhinos.
Well, this is interesting, because Jake Connor, having picked up what looked like a bit of a knock earlier, has passed over the kicking duties to Chris Hankinson. And Chris Hankinson is a decent goal kicker. He got 10 for Salford while he was there earlier on in the season. But this is a tall order right over in the corner. Strikes it towards the posts, and he's through. And well, that'll be another little bit in the armoury. If Jake Connor can't kick, then Chris Hankinson can.
He can kick, and Chris Hankinson, we've seen that interception from Ryan Hall. Shows good dexterity to get round, get down, get the ball, collect it, and then his second try of the game, Ash Handley, as they nudge to 60. (64-0).
with 5.5 minutes remaining. And the ball drops there. And the tackle by Bentley. Here's Mustafa getting the congratulations from his teammates. And Lewis Senior involved and got a whack on the nose for his troubles. So 5 minutes to go. Time for Barry to start considering who his Betfred player of the match will be. There'll be a few candidates from Leeds that have really stuck their hand up for that award here this afternoon on what has been a pretty outstanding team performance. And they're still going. Still putting the effort in here, Leeds, to try and stop Castleford from crossing the whitewash. Griffin.
I think if I asked 10 people, Fraser, 9 would give me the same answer.
I think I might know you might be going
It's
for.
not that difficult.
Well, let's just keep people in suspense for now. As, here's Windley. Windley chasing through. Jensen Windley restores a little bit of pride for Castleford Tigers. They are not nilled in the fierce West Yorkshire derby. And Jensen Windley gives those fans something to smile about at last.
Oh, relief on the terraces. Castleford Tigers get over the try line. Jensen Windley, such an exciting prospect for Castleford. He sums this up really well, doesn't it? Drifts across, steps off that right foot. And just look at the man who he beats, Callum Watkins. All that experience. Played as a back rower, played as a centre. And that's woken the home side up. I was trying to work out what the Rhinos fans are singing to my right. They're singing Danny Maguire's song. There's a little bit of sarcasm in that song. The Rhinos fans will feel a little bit hurt over the way that their former player and legend has been treated, but that's sport.
Ultimately, it is the people who run the club that make the decisions. And that is the owner's prerogative. So, just over 3 minutes to go, and Castleford have at least got themselves on the score sheet. Wallace bringing this one back for the home side. Just the tiniest bit of pride restored, perhaps, for the home side. Singleton is tackled there and feeds it off to Griffin.
I think Presley Cassell has come back on. Whatever injury he picked up, he's got over.
Jake Connor is still out there on the field as well, despite the little knock we thought he might have picked up. He's perhaps not running quite so freely as you might hope, but it's a good sign that he's still out there as far as Leeds are concerned.
He won't want to come off. He won't want to come off, would it?
Yeah.
Every minute of every game, every play. Sometimes players like that need a ball of their own, Fraser.
Hankinson stepping away from the challenge and still going, Chris Hankinson. He seems to be okay. We'll try and get an update on his fitness towards the end of the game. But don't forget, that game coming up next week as Leeds take on Hull KR. And then over the course of the weekend, another 3 games. It could well be pivotal as far as this race for the top 6 positions are concerned. Here's Lissoni, who's back on the field again. Singleton getting into him. Pushing and shoving going on as Mustafa gets involved as well. Connor gets this one away. That one didn't look too difficult in terms of the kick from Connor, and it caused Windley a few problems in trying to pick it up.
Yeah, they've just upped their ante, haven't they, in defence now. 64 points to 6. 64 is the highest amount that the Rhinos have scored against Cass at Cass. Previous record was 60 in 2021. So record set today for Leeds. Hasn't been a great day if you're a Castleford Tigers fan.
And further markers as well, Barry, in terms of the intent that Leeds have for the remainder of this season. They want to find themselves in as good a vein of form as possible as we head towards the playoffs. My suspicion is that Brad Arthur will be a very happy man in terms of the way his side have performed. John Assey chasing after this one, but Croft comes away with the loose ball and then gets tapped from behind by the looks of things by Lawler. But that is it. The 80 minutes is up, and you can hear boos from some of the Castleford fans that have stayed here to see the end of this game.
Yeah, I think defensively, Cass, right from the off, we're missing tackles, one-on-one tackles, and with the attitude and the buoyancy and the confidence that the Rhinos went into this match. Every pass stuck, every sidestep, every broken tackle resulted in metres forward, pressure being built on the home side,